And when you transcend beyond the mind, you reach to a dimensionless dimension, open space. That open space is your reality. If you have never thought of meditation, you cannot meditate. Philosophers cannot meditate. Their whole approach to life is intellectual. They think about and about things. So you do not have to think about ego or mind or anything. You have to become a witness. A philosopher cannot become a witness of any experience, particularly the experience of their own thought process. The moment you start watching the thoughts floating on the inner sky, a journey of meditation begins. If you really want to get rid of ego and the mind, you will have to go so deep into your meditation that you can create a distance between you and your mind. Immediately you will realize that your ego is the false, and the moment you have seen it, it is dropped. Not that you have to drop, instead, in your very watching, understanding, witnessing, it begins to drop. With ego comes a desire to exhibit and show. It is an aspect of ignorant mind. Why do you want to exhibit? Why do you want people to know? What is the cause of it? And why do you make it so significant in your life that people should think that you are somebody very significant, important, or extraordinary? Why? It is so because you have not yet discovered the self and you are living in considering the false entity as the real. You have the ego, the substitute for the false, substitute for the self. It is not substantial, it is false. It gives you the impression that something is existing. Self is substantial, but that is not known to you as yet. Indeed, a man cannot live without the feeling of I. It is difficult to live without it. Then, from what center will you function? You need an I, even if it is false, but it is helpful to understand. Without an I, you simply disintegrate. Who will be the integrator, the agent within you? Who will integrate you, and from what center will you function? Unless you know this self, you have to live with this false entity. And ego means you have a substitute self, a false, you do not know the self. So you create a self of your own. It is a mental creation, and for anything that is false, you have to make supports. Exhibition gives you support. The journey begins in a totally different way. Witnessing is the way to begin that journey, witnessing the mind, witnessing all that is happening, the thoughts that is arising. whatsoever comes in front of it, in front of the mirror, it reflects, is there judgment or there is no. Then witnessing begins to work. You have to start with it in small doses. And then its process deepens. And when it attains fruition, you know that you are not the mind. You are beyond that. You use the mind. You are not time. Time has its limitation because time is an offshoot of the mind. It lives through the two dimensions, the past and the future. And the moment witnessing begins, these two aspects of the time begin to disintegrate and you come into the state, come into the space which is space and time together, spatio-time. Time does not exist, space does not exist. You are simply in this very moment. Observe what happens. You meet someone. Oh, you remember that we met last time? No, I never met you before. And ego feels hurt. And I talked to you last time and you say you never met me. Certainly I never met you. Because I do not carry my camera with me or video. I record in this very moment. What is very important that we have met again, and what had happened when you met last time, you were in the moment dimension of now. It has created a groove in you. It has created insatiable quest in you to meet again. So you are again meeting in a dimension of nowness. But it is difficult for people to understand. The moment you say that I never met you before, or how the food tasted, I do not know that. Because it is a totally different thing. It's like you have tasted something and then you are trying to narrate it what it is like. No, food is to bring the energy into you, and the moment you have eaten, its function, its role is finished. But it is difficult to go beyond or live in a state of dimensionless dimension. You cannot live in an open space. But although you may be living in a closed space, you can go from time to time in the open space, open air, feel the breeze, feel the openness, feel the open music, and come back in that refreshed. We go for walks. Meditation is like going for a stroll away from your closed circles. You are living in a closed room, a certain conditioned air you are breathing, conditioned environment that has been created. You go out, you Feel the freshness of the breeze. So meditation is coming out of the bondage of the mind, limitations of the mind, going in the infinite horizon, the openness. Feel the freshness of the breeze, and when you come back, you are refreshed. So when you go out for a walk and you come back, you are refreshed. Let meditation be a walk in the open space, the infinite space where there is everything natural, the music, the chirping of the birds, the beauty of the flowers. And when it becomes your permanent abode, you may be within the four walls of narrowness, but you are in a different kind of a space. You have brought the outside inside. Sometimes when you go in a state of music and a musician takes you beyond the mind, it is said that Maharaja Kashmir was sitting, there was a musical conference. Bade Ghulam Ali Khan, he was playing the music, a master musician. He chanted the Rag Pahari. The concert was in Delhi. When he finished, Maharaja Kashmir said, Master, addressing him, it appeared you have brought the valleys, the gardens, the beauty of Kashmir in the desert of Delhi, in the heat of Delhi, the cool breeze, the lush gardens, the greenery, the nascent snow-capped mountains. You brought all that beauty into. So this is here, first you are going, leaving your limitations and going for a stroll. But this stroll is a totally different. It is a stroll through the meditation. And when you start liking this, you bring that freshness, you bring that breeze into the narrowness. Every moment is a moment of rejoice then. You do not have to go to retreat or anything, because you have created your innerness, mind which was a storehouse full of all kind of junks. You have emptied it, prepared it for a different kind of environment. You have replanted, put different kind of furniture, different kind of decoration in the mind, in that space, and you will find that has become very important. From time to time we go on changing the ambience of the house, living room, change the furniture. All that gives us the past remembrance, memories. We try to discard it, redecorate it, repaint it. This is an aspect of the mind, the meditation. The moment you bring that dimension into it, because you were so much attracted to that freshness that you have felt when you went out, you create that within you.